What does a pitch deck consist of? The first part is a front page, probably a picture. The most important information I suggest to have here is contact information, because it's such a waste if people actually like it and they cannot find you. Or if you gave it to somebody and they pass it on to somebody else and they cannot find you. Put, just one thing, email or mobile phone number, whatever, so they can find you again. The second thing is the team and the experience. This is often what determines whether they continue or they drop it right there. So they want to see it's a good team. They want to see it's people who have special qualifications, because not only do they think, okay, these people have a high chance of delivering on this, but they also think these people can choose how they spend their time, and they have chosen to spend their time on this. So they must be onto something, I would assume. Then you have the problem you solve. Is it making a hole in a wall? Then you need to come with a drilling machine. Is it to deliver something from A to B? It can be done in many ways, but people have to understand the opportunity or the problem or the pain put in very, very simple words. Then how you will do it, state that in a simple way. Here's the problem, here's how we solve it. We need a hole in a wall, we solve it with a drilling machine. Okay, I can understand that. What is your competitive advantage? I think many people don't want to put that because they kind of assume that they're so great that there will be no competition. Who knows, maybe they're right, they're probably wrong. The way a market economy works is that if there's a great opportunity, it's like, you put a honeypot, the bees will come. I mean, they will pursue it. So if you don't have competition, you will get it. So they will want to know, how are you different? Do you have a patent? Do you have a special distribution agreement? You have the best team in the industry? You have some exclusive distribution deals? What is it that makes you so special when the competition go after you? And then, what is your product? And by product, I mean it could also be services or product as a service or whatever. But make it simple. What does that do? And your problem in writing that might be you know too much. So very simple slide that shows what it is you do without using any terms that are alien or complicated. Then why now? So people will think, oh, if that is such a great idea, why are somebody else not addressing it? Professional investors and people who are professional in business, they will think, if you have such a good idea, how come it's not completely crowded? Why are there not 100 or 1,000 companies doing the same already, leaving no space for you? Or if there are no companies at all, is it because it's a bad idea, because you're stupid? Or where are we with it? And so if you tell them that the reason that now is the right time is that this depends on some core technologies. And the core technologies are not ready now, but they will be in 3 years. And it will take us exactly 3 years to develop the applications for them. So we'll come right there at the right time. That's why now. Okay, that's a good story. Or you say there's a change in the law. Before this was not legal, now it's legal. Or this is necessary. Or you say there's a change in consumer habits. Now people want this. This is a new fashion. We come very early in with a new solution on that. Why now is often forgotten. It's very important. Then the market size. Is this a big market? So if this works, can you scale it to become a really big company? There are two schools sometimes competing in what is important. Some say that this is the most important in a pitch deck. And there are other people who say, no, the team is most important because a great team will find a great market. These people say if you have a great market and a bad team, we can change the team, but we'll pursue the market. What you think is that I don't want to join this company. I don't want to be a mentor, an investor, a key employee or anything like that unless it can scale. And it can only scale if there's a great market to scale into. So that if you can say that this is a big market opportunity, it's much easier to get on with the project. Okay, so you have the product, you have the market. How do you go to market? How do you get your product out to people? If the market is huge and you're tiny, you have to start in a corner. You have to find some kind of niche strategy probably in the beginning and then expand from there. Is it online selling? Is it direct selling? Is it indirect selling? What is it? So you have to describe that. One slide. Then traction. What have you achieved so far? Let's say it's a very early stage. You have no clients because you have no product, or it's just launched. Do you have any indication, any documentation that this is of any value? You can say, well, we won an award. The professor this and that said it's fantastic. Amazing people have joined us. So we just signed an agreement with a fabulous distributor. Or if it's launched, look at our revenues, they're going like that, something like that. So you have to show that there's some kind of traction in some way. Because otherwise people will think, it's a great slide deck, but there's no proof. Then you have to commit to some predictable milestones. And the reason for that is, first of all, people will want to know which journey are we going to be on here. What will the future look like? But the other thing is that many of the people who decline cooperating with you and investing you in the first place, they will actually be willing to follow you. And they see your milestones, when to launch stuff, when to sell what, and so on. And then they will follow you and see if you meet those milestones, they'll come back. And I've tried many, many times in my business career that people said no to me, and then they later said yes. And I've also been on the other side of the table where I said no to some people. But then I noticed, they actually deliver on their milestones. They follow the timeline. They're clever. And then I changed my mind, I come back. So this is important. Financial projections, don't make it too detailed. I mean, don't say we'll sell for 10,245,000, something like that. Make it very simple. Most investors would assume that you're far too optimistic. You can also make a high, low, and medium case. But make this simple. And then how much capital do you need? So what is what you call the maximum drawdown until you reach profitability? So you go through a curve where you lose money, lose money, lose money. So money has to put into the pot. And then one day you stop losing money, you start making money, and it starts generating cash. And then you come back to break even. So what is the maximum drawdown? If somebody puts in this money, but they can see that you need, that much money before it turns around. Of course, it goes through the mind. So who puts in the other money? What will be the share price for that? That is a very important information. And then finally, a summary. What did I just say? If all the previous slides is a summary of your skyscraper elevator pitch, what you have here is a short summary of that. That's like a ground floor to second floor summary that just highlights, great team, big market, we'll do this, we'll do that, we'll reach that milestone then, and we need this much money. So this is what people have to be able to remember 2 weeks after they've read this. The number of slides that I just showed here doesn't need to be taken literal. It can be organized differently. On average, professional investors, when they receive these kind of pitch decks, they spend something like 4 minutes, 5 minutes on average on looking at one. So it has to be super easy to digest, to comprehend. I think that when the average is 4 minutes, it means that some of them they spend 30 seconds and then they drop out. Some of them they spend 10 minutes or 15 minutes because it catches their interest. Slide decks can also be horrible. They can have too much information. They can be ugly. And I think people, when you receive something that's too complicated or incomprehensible and ugly, what you think is, you think if they cannot even make a slide deck, can they make a product? Can they convince anybody to buy it? Don't think so. So this is also a demonstration of your professionalism in general. So make it look good, and remember one thing: the purpose of this is not to close a deal. The purpose is not to close a deal for anybody doing anything with you. The purpose is to get you to the next meeting. And when you get to the next meeting, people will ask for more if they still like it. And then you can give them more. And then there will be perhaps a third meeting where they ask for even more. And in some processes, like if you are raising money, you end up giving them 400 pages of super detailed material. What you need now is something simple.
Do you speak future?